I walked into my newly renovated guest house and found a woman in a robe drinking tea like she owned it. When I told her I was the homeowner, she called the police. On me. What I didn't know yet. She was running a scam across 4 states, and I was just her next target until I flipped the entire scheme on its head. After 17 years of helping other people buy, flip, and renovate homes, I finally did something for myself. My name is Malcolm Rivera. I'm 42, a real estate consultant based in Flagstaff, Arizona. My latest project was more personal than any I'd ever taken on. A fully restored 2-story craftsman with a private guest house tucked into the back corner of the lot. I spent months getting everything right: polished, wood floors, new tile, high-end fixtures. The goal: turn the guest unit into a high-end Airbnb retreat. But the week I planned to list it, someone else had already moved in. It started on a Tuesday afternoon. I'd just returned from staging furniture and wanted to make sure the guest house was ready for the photographer. The front door was unlocked. Inside, the scent of herbal tea floated in the air. A woman mid-50s, in a robe, sat comfortably on the couch, holding one of my mugs like it belonged to her. "You're trespassing," she said calmly, without even flinching. "I'm sorry, what? I live here. I rented this place last week." Her name was Deborah Ellison, 55. She claimed to have rented the guest house through a man named Tom Brennan via a platform called Urban Homestay, a name I'd never heard of. She showed me a lease agreement and matching keys, the same keys I had kept locked in my detached garage, which someone had recently broken into. Deborah had clearly been scammed. But instead of reacting with confusion or concern, she dug in. She wasn't leaving. When I explained I was the owner, she made a calculated move. She called 911 and claimed I had broken in and was threatening her. She described me to dispatch as a Latino male, aggressive and acting unstable. I stood on my own property, feeling the weight of those words. She didn't just lie, she weaponized perception. 2 officers arrived. Thankfully, Officer Jennings had a level head. I showed her my ID, the property deed, the remodel permits, everything. They did a full perimeter sweep. Sure enough, there were pry marks on the garage door where the spare keys had been kept. The story started unraveling. Still, Deborah didn't back down. She waived her lease agreement and accused me of setting up a fake listing. I offered her a ride, a hotel. I even suggested waiting outside while she made calls. She refused everything. 2 hours later, after the police gently pressed and the lies piled up, she finally left. I exhaled. I thought it was over. 3 days later, I was served court papers. Deborah Ellison was suing me for harassment, illegal eviction, and emotional distress. And suddenly, this wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a con. I turned to my longtime friend and legal advisor, Vanessa Cruz. Together, we started digging. What we found made my stomach turn. Deborah had filed 5 other lawsuits in the past 3 years, all eerily similar. Every case involved her claiming to be a scammed renter, followed by emotional distress lawsuits against property owners who wrongfully evicted her. She'd settled most out of court, pocketing payouts from people just trying to make the problem go away. But she picked the wrong guy this time. I pulled footage from my smart cameras. One showed someone prying open the garage 2 nights before I found her. I cross-checked the email she claimed belonged to Tom Brennan and traced it to a Venmo account belonging to Tyler Ellison, Deborah's adult son. He'd posed as the landlord. They'd created fake listings, taken deposits, issued fake leases, and when caught, sued the actual owners. We requested a meeting with Deborah's attorney, Martin Holloway. Polished suit, loud voice, fast talker. He looked smug, until I showed him the police report, the footage, the Venmo trail, the printouts from the scam site's server logs. Then I showed him the criminal complaint I'd already filed with the Arizona Attorney General's office. His face turned pale. My client may have misrepresented parts of her history. I offered him a deal, settlement, full dismissal, and a restraining order. He declined. So we went to court. The courtroom was filled with reporters and community members, many of whom had heard about Deborah through Airbnb hosts' forums. The prosecution came prepared. Not only did they show the scam trail and false documents, but they also presented recordings of Deborah rehearsing her 911 call with Tyler, caught on her phone's voice memo app, which had auto-synced to the cloud. That was the final nail. The judge didn't hesitate. Deborah and Tyler Ellison were arrested in the hallway after the hearing. Charges included fraud, filing false police reports, conspiracy to commit civil litigation fraud, forgery, trespassing. The civil case against me was dismissed with prejudice. The guest house. It's now live on Airbnb, fully booked through summer. I've upgraded all locks, added motion-activated floodlights, and installed encrypted cloud backups. But some nights, when I pass the guest house, I still pause and check the door more out of principle than fear. Because that quiet little cottage became a battlefield, not just for my property, but for the right to not be played by people who know how to exploit the cracks in the system. They tried to make me another victim, but I fought back. And now they'll face every homeowner they ever wronged. Some people flip homes, others flip justice. I did both, and I'll never ignore a strange sound from the guest house again.